right, everybody. Reese and I, you see Reese in the back seat. Say hi, Reese.
Hey.
Reese and I are in Little Red. We're headed to pick up my 6x12 trailer.
And I left my socks.
Oh man, we're headed to pick up my 6x12 trailer.
Yep.
And then we're gonna go over to Tom's, so you all have seen the videos before, and pick up the 2-row planter. So we are going to plant. What are we gonna plant, Reese?
We're gonna plant corn.
Corn! It's food plot evening. Gonna plant some corn for deer and turkeys and squirrel and coon,
And then
right?
we're gonna come back home and get the tractor.
And get the what?
Tractor.
Tractor.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. We are going to go to Tom's, get the planter, come home, unload the planter with the tractor, hook the planter up to the tractor, put some corn in the planter, right?
Yep.
All right, y'all stay tuned. We're gonna try to get some planting done tonight. All right, everybody. You remember Tom? That's Tom. That's 2-row planter. Tractor's at home, so we have nothing but manpower and Reese, the Superman power. We're gonna get this thing loaded up. Talking about Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Ah, he's talking about you!
Oh, he's a little...
Did y'all see that? Hunter didn't even help. It's loaded. We're gonna strap it down. Locked and loaded, ready to go. One bag of corn. We'll be headed to the food plot. All right, everybody, we're here. We made it to the food plot. You can see here, this is an update. Reese says hi. That's my little helper tonight. You can see how well the field sprayed. Looks like I missed a couple of spots. You know, that's part of it. Missed that spot for sure. But for the most part, it's all really dry and really dead. And you can see when I fold it over, it breaks apart. So my hope is, well, let's back up a minute. For those of you who have watched my channel, you've seen me use this 2-row planter when I planted sunflowers. I told you I used a corn head. We're still using a corn head. This is Roundup ready corn here. So after it comes up, if the vegetation takes over, we can come back in with Roundup, spray it, corn will still survive. Those of you who are new to the channel, this used to be a 4-row corn planter, and it is now a 2-row corn planter. Beginning of this video, you saw the time lapse of me traveling to the food plots, and you can see that there were some tight spots, skinny trails, up and down hills, creeks, valleys, etc. That's why we like the 2-row planter. We can get in here easily. The Massey 1643. Since the truck's Little Red, we'll call the tractor Big Red. Does a great job, does an absolutely great job. It's front wheel assist, so if we get in a tight spot, we can throw it up in the front wheel assist and get ourselves out of there, or use the front loader there, bucket, whatever you want to call it. So I think this is going to work out great. Those discs are going to cut into the ground. It's a no-till drill for that exact reason. That cuts into the ground, opens up a trench, if you will. This wheel turns, seed drops right out of this hole here. Sorry, vegetation in the way. Right out of that hole, right up in there. Seed drops out into the trench. The wheel has a rib here in the middle. It forces it back closed with these angled ribs to then put the seed at the proper depth. Now, that's adjustable. That's adjustable with this pin here and this pin here. As you can see, if I lift it up, it travels ever so slightly. That is what sets the pressure. We leave it on that setting for sunflowers and corn. Seems to do a pretty good job. But I believe this vegetation is going to work out great. It's going to break up by the discs. After it breaks up, it's going to be great ground cover to hold that moisture into the soil, I believe. Some people call this thatch. It's similar to straw. You put straw on the ground to hold moisture, keep birds and other things from eating your seed. And I'm sure the turkeys are going to love this corn seed. So they'll eat some of it and we'll have some casualties, but that's okay. Here we go. Alright everybody, so that field down there is planted. That one.
Hi guys.
This field here we're going to plant with something different.
Hi guys.
So that Reese says hi again. So that the deer can enter into a grain field, or the deer can enter into a green field. And you can see the hardwoods here on the left. And then if you look down through there, it's nothing but oak trees. So they have acorns, they have clover, they'll have grain, corn, and then here they will have greens. On to the next field. All right, everybody.
Hi.
Reese and I have it planted. So, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a description as to how we have this laid out.
Hi,
Am I a
guys.
professional? No. Do I like to think I know what I'm doing? Maybe. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Putting seed in the ground. That's what we're doing. But right back here behind us, you can see that's that other food plot there. That one is about 2 acres. And then we have 1/2 to 3/4 of an acre of what I was telling you earlier, the greens. And now here we have this very long, skinny plot. And you can see all the vegetation on the sides of these food plots. Same thing with the food plot that's back here behind us.
3, 4.
They have cover, they have food. And then if you look up there, That is actually a large agricultural field, and this year it's planted in beans. So they're going to have more greens at the top of the hill. Now, just inside the woods here, right about there, is one of our tree stands. This is a great transition point for deer coming from the south end of our land, coming to our food, or down the tree line of the agricultural field into these small food plots, or the food plot that's back here behind us. Do we do anything to force them to do that? Some people might ask. No, this is all natural travel. Did we do a lot of homework to figure out how, when, and where they travel? Yes, we use trail cams significantly. I actually, a couple of years ago, invested in Cuddyback's CuddyLink system. And we have a home base, which is up by the highway. I can stop any given day, pull one card, and I can see which cameras have photos. That being cameras in food plots, or cameras that we've moved to deer trails to determine which trails they're using to get to which food plots. The total amount of cameras that we have is 6, I believe, CuddyLink cameras. I'd love to get more. This year, we're going to set them up a little bit differently. Obviously, we're still going to have cameras by our tree stands that are over food so that we can get a good understanding of what deer are coming past those stands when. But we've also, on the south end of the farm, we've got another transitional area that I put a camera there for the first time ever last year, and we actually hung a stand. It's a stand that we actually call the Florida Boy. The reason we call it the Florida Boy is we have a cousin in Florida who comes up and hunts with us. So we're going to keep a camera over there to see what is transitioning from the south end to the north or central portion of the farm. So our goal is to determine which deer are traveling on what trails and when. And just to kind of give you a little bit of feedback from last year, we were capturing deer moving on certain trails every second or third day. Obviously, when the rut comes in, all that changes. But we feel like the secluded plots provide a lot of security for these deer. We also feel that by providing them different types of food to come out into, there might be one buck or one doe, a target doe to manage out of the herd, or a target buck to manage, or a trophy buck, whichever it may be. They might like to come out in greens instead of coming out in grain. So we want to give them those options. And then they always have the option to travel this log road here. This log road goes from the east side of the property all the way to the west side of the property. We typically view that frequently to see which trails are being used to go up to the large agricultural field, so that we can place a camera and get what we like to call inventory. Also at the other end of the agricultural field, we've got a spotting location to where we do a lot of glassing and determine what our herd looks like. We enjoy managing our herd. It's a family thing. Our opinion, there's no other way to live. We enjoy it. We thoroughly love it. We put a lot of hard work into it, and we've had some rewards. Some people might think of a reward as killing a 160-inch deer. We look at reward in regards to camaraderie, spending time with family, and quality time in the great outdoors. So we've got all the corn planted for this year. There's a lot of steps and stages to these processes. It takes a lot of time, but that time is reduced when you have great help. Do I have great help today, Reese?
Me.
That's right. Can we get a 5 on planting all the corn today?
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to see some deer coming, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start taking deer inventory in the very near future.
Mm-hmm. And I hope we go back with the tractor.
With the tractor?
We can hit it.
No, I think we're going to wait until deer season comes in, And then we're going to go climb up in a tree stand or get in one of our blinds that we have positioned around food and or cover. And then we're going to sit there and we're going to wait for one to walk by.
Mm-hmm.
And then
One time I slept.
You did sleep. Actually, you slept right back there in that food plot. Are you going to try to shoot one yourself this year, maybe? I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. Give us your opinions. How can we do it better? Is what we want so that we can learn also. That's why we do this YouTube channel. To teach what we know and learn what others know, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey,
Let's tell everybody bye.
Dad,
What?
come on.
Oh boy.
Before it goes back, before you turn it off, can I tell you something?
Well, tell them.
This is how I finished my video.
Okay, how do you finish your video?
So when I took a video with my dad,
Yeah.
and I came down,
Which is me. That's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I came down in the basement. He was there, and he said, "Hi, somebody."
Oh my goodness. And that's Reese's comment for the night. We're going to go fertilize the cornfields now. This is a little bit further to travel away from the road as they're hidden plots, and let's just say we've got the foreman loaded down. We've got 4 bags on the front, which is 200 pounds. We got 2 bags on the back plus 2 bags in the spreader. So 200 on the back, 200 on the front, and then me. Let's see how this goes. In case you all plant food plots, I want to show you something that I was taught the other day. We had a cornfield that didn't come up. This is that cornfield. And when I say it didn't come up as well as that field down there. That field down there looks really good. This field here, you can see where we planted and no-till drilled, but you can see there's no corn. One thing I want to show you here is these holes. And I learned this from a local farmer the other day, and I saw a piece of corn up here a second ago that I wanted to show you right here. So this piece of corn would have been all right, but a squirrel came in here and he ate the seed off the bottom of it. So what I'm being told is a squirrel back there got in there and ate the seed before it popped up, whereas here he said, "Oh, I think that's more corn." And I've got a little bit of a root system. Now, I could go through this field and manually push every single one of these in, but they did it a lot. See right here, the next stalk. Same thing, they dug right next to it. Up there, they dug that one completely out. So, the squirrels have played major havoc on this field. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still some corn in there, and anywhere the grass was thicker, or the grass, the thatch, the whatever you want to call it. It's like straw. Everywhere that was thicker, the corn came up, and the squirrels didn't mess with it. So we broadcasted this. You can see all the fertilizer on the ground there, the little white specks and pink specks. Pink specks are the urea, white specks is the 1919. So we've got a lot of fertilizer. I shouldn't say a lot. We've got a good base of fertilizer down. We've got rain coming in, so I'm hoping that them stalks will shoot up really nice, deep, dark green, and the squirrels will leave them alone. Really hope squirrels will leave them alone, because it's not that we're not trying to feed squirrels, because these are wildlife plots. But I'd really like for them to grow. What the squirrel doesn't know is if it'd leave that seed alone, it'd have a whole lot more seeds this fall/winter to eat straight grain, just like they ate, but a whole bunch on one cob. However, everybody gets greedy, right? Squirrels are greedy. They come in, they steal all the corn before it grows into bigger corn that would produce their food for the whole daggone winter. So here we are, you know, dealing with squirrels. But I have a fix for that. We'll take care of that this fall. We'll see how the food plots turn out. Typically July 4th, I like to put my trail cameras out and start running them. Since I just fertilized and I was in here, I'm gonna give it a little bit longer than the 4th of July. So probably a week or so after 4th of July, we'll come in and we'll set all of our cameras up and we'll start getting pictures of deer and other wildlife, turkeys and things like that. And that's one thing I noticed, speaking of turkeys, there weren't many turkey scratchings out through there. Normally they scratch a lot, but I guess they were up in the big field. So stay tuned on plot progress. Well, that was interesting, folks. You remember I was using a four-wheeler to spread my fertilizer, right? Well, I just pulled up at the house. Is there anything missing? Why would I have a Tahoe and a trailer? I was using a four-wheeler with a seed spreader. Oh, that's interesting. There's a strap dragging the ground. Oh wait, I found it. That was a close call. Coming up the hill, strap broke. Four-wheeler decided, with the brakes locked and in gear, that it was going to roll over the hill. And luckily, just luckily, it went into the hillside instead of over and into someone's home. So we're gonna get this thing started up. You know, just things happen. We're gonna start it up. We're gonna put it where it belongs. It's been a few weeks since I have went and looked at our wildlife plots. It's that evening. Let's go check them out. All right, I came to check out the wildlife plots. You see that deer right up there? They're obviously working. There's a deer in it. And look how tall this corn is. I tell you what, I am pretty happy with this. It's a little sporadic and you can see where the deer have actually eaten off where these stalks would have been. A little bit more vegetation than what I like. I'll leave the four-wheeler running so that deer doesn't get too upset with me being here. But you can also see where coons have climbed up and toppled them over, which, you know, that's part of it. It's a wildlife plot. Little do they know, if they leave it untouched, they'll have more food here very soon. But you can also see that several of them are starting to have cobs on them. You see that one over there? These are starting to tossle. That's my camera's right about the top of my head, so we got 7-foot tall corn in here. That makes me feel pretty good. Let's go check out the next one. All right, we're at the next one. Drove through one, which is right there behind me. Let's take a peek at this one as we drive up through here, and hopefully we don't run any of the corn stalks over, because it's looking pretty good. Again, we got a little bit more greenery and weeds that I prefer not to have, but there's also some stuff in there that deer like to eat, so, you know, hey, it is what it is. Oop, ran over that one. It does look like we need some more rain. It's a good dark green color, but you can see the tassels are starting to come out in these, and it's not a real tall one, but it has one cob on it, so there's going to be at least some corn. You can see down through there. Again, it's thin. The squirrels thinned us out. The weeds have taken over, but it's so tall now we can't get in here with the tractor and spray it, or we would knock every one of those stalks over. So we don't want to come in here and ruin it. It is what it is now. Rain is going to make the vegetation and the corn grow. Corn is going to be suffocated out by the weeds, but you know, the wildlife plot's got some cobs on it. This is, I will have to say, this is one of the better years that we've had for corn in these areas, so I'm not disappointed, let's put it that way. Stay tuned for more videos in regards to wildlife plots. We're going to be planting those greenery plots that I was talking about. Those videos will be coming soon. As always, like, comment, and subscribe.